Hey you guys, it's your girl T. So I wanted to come on here and talk about the whole controversy with sorority sisters, because I did the initial video when the show first came out and the Divine Nine and all types of people trying to boycott the show. So after the third episode aired last night, they decided to have this huge dialogue with this host, and they had all the ladies come on to basically air out their grievances and everything they've been going through ever since the show premiered. So the dialogue was really interesting, and you guys know I was live tweeting, you know, I was listening to everything, and they were basically on there crying and whining about how they were being treated. They were receiving death threats on social media, how, like, you know, this whole experience has opened their eyes to how fake and phony a lot of people in their sororities are. They had a lot of their sorors attacking them, telling them to not show up at the next event, you know. So it's just been so much drama that these women have went through. You know, they said they've been called all types of names, from everything from them being ratchet to whores to, you know, just everything under the sun. You know, them getting attacked, it's really lowered their self-esteem. Several of them broke down crying. The one white Delta that was on the show, you know, she was real upset. People were coming at her really foul because she's a white girl. But like I said, I don't feel bad for her, because when you pledge into a black organization, you know folks are going to have something to say. There's always that one white person that pledges to a black fraternity or a black sorority and then acts shocked when everybody don't stand by it. You know, I don't understand that. People always going to have an opinion, especially when it comes to races and fraternities. Just like when black people pledge to an all-white fraternity or all-white sorority, you rarely ever see that. But when it happens, they go through the same thing. So it's no different. My issue with this whole situation, I felt like this whole dialogue was one-sided. I didn't like how it played out. And I felt like it made the Divine Nine look bad. It made them look even worse. And I had a really cool dialogue with two young ladies. They were tweeting me, and they're like, you know, could you explain how come you feel like it made us look worse? And I was just like, well, I expect if you guys are college educated to not be sending these women death threats. I would assume that you would have enough common sense to know not to threaten people, especially on social media. Like, I don't take threats lightly. So that's why I was kind of upset when they were saying they were being threatened by specific people from their organizations. But these two young ladies on Twitter, they were really sweet women, and they let me know that they felt like all of that was a lie and that nobody from the sororities themselves were threatening these ladies. And they kind of broke it down to me that all of this whole show, this whole dialogue was just a ploy to try and save the show, because over 60 advertisers pulled out. VH1 put a lot of money to film and you know, produce this show, and they're losing money because the advertisers are pulling out from the show. And, you know, like I said, I also feel like there's kind of like an elitist vibe as well. Like, it was okay to show, you know, Love and Hip Hop and, you know, Real Housewives of Atlanta. There's no dialogue with those shows. They also show black women in the same light. But then with this show, it's like this is the final straw. You know, Sorority Sisters is the final straw, then what about the other shows? Should those be taken off the air as well? That's why I kind of felt like it kind of became elitist when they were only affected the sororities, but not just regular black folks who are not in sororities or fraternities. So like I said, I wasn't buying their tears. I didn't feel bad for them, because at the end of the day, when you put yourself out there on a public forum, I don't care if it's television, I don't care if it's YouTube. When you put yourself out there publicly, people are going to have an opinion of you, good or bad. And you just have to be able to handle that. When you go on a show called Sorority Sisters, and, you know what I'm saying, these black sororities run a lot of things in this country, like they said on the show, you're going to piss some people off. You know, people are going to take offense to that. You know, people take their sororities and fraternities, they take the Divine Nine very seriously. So, you know, if you're going to be out there not showing it in a good light, then you have to be prepared for the ramifications. But with that being said, I don't feel like if they're getting death threats, it's not okay. Nobody should be threatened for something as stupid as going on a reality TV show. I don't recall anybody from the Jersey Shore being threatened with their life, you know, so I don't think that these ladies should be threatened at all. But again, I feel like for their peace of mind and for their safety, maybe they just need to come off the show altogether, go find something else to do, just run their businesses, because obviously nobody's feeling the show. The show is boring as hell. I have not watched it since the first episode. I'm not interested in watching it. It's just not my cup of tea. You know, but I just find the whole situation just kind of sad that it's gotten to the point now where they have to start doing dialogues and trying to explain themselves as to why they joined a reality TV show. At the end of the day, if you guys don't want the show on the air, you should not be watching it. I don't watch the show, not necessarily because I don't want it on the air. I don't watch it because I find the show to be boring. I don't care like that. And I don't feel like, getting myself immersed in another ratchet show. Like, I have my 2 ratchet shows that I watch, and that's enough for me. I'm not trying to watch every ratchet show on television, but it's just kind of unfortunate that that's all we make. I really wish that we could make some good scripted TV shows. What also bothers me too, like I said, is that I felt like this dialogue was just so one-sided. You had all these ladies on the show there, but my thing is, where the hell was Mona Scott? Where are the producers? Why are these women the only ones getting blamed? Why is Mona Scott not speaking up on this? Why is Mona Scott not interviewing them? Why did they not have why did they not have other members of the Divine Nine, to speak and state where they were coming from and why they felt that this was a travesty, whatever they felt. I felt like if you're going to have a dialogue and call the show The Dialogue, it should be more than one-sided. You can't have a dialogue with just one side airing their grievances, but then nobody there to respond or rebuttal to anything. So I felt like everything was just bullshit and it was for show, and they just did that to try and garner sympathy, to try and garner more ratings, and to try and keep the show on the air. Because if we can make it look like we're being picked on and we're losing our freedom of speech and, blah, 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 then the advertisers will come back and say, well, no, that's not fair. Freedom of speech for everybody. So I think I think at the end of the day, that's what they were trying to do. They're trying to drum up sympathy, trying to drum up people to watch this show. They're trying to bring the advertisers back. But I don't see this show lasting more than one season. It just caused way too much controversy, and if these women are lying about them receiving death threats, then shame on them. And so they're really walking a slippery slope when they're saying that their organization threaten them if they don't know if the people who threatened them were really true members of that organization. So the whole situation just looks kind of bad and looks tacky. And that's why I said on Twitter, the whole situation made the Divine Nine just look bad because they didn't resolve anything, and they basically made it look like the Divine Nine is threatening them, threatening to hurt them. They're not a good organization. Once you step out of the box, once you do something they disapprove of, they were talking about hazing. So they were saying a lot of little shit on the show that just did not look good at all. So anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts. Did you end up watching the dialogue last night? What did you think of it? If you have not seen it, I will provide a link down below. You guys can watch it. It's about 40 minutes long. Anyways, go ahead and leave a comment. Let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. All right. Deuces.